Speaking of, let me get my little sponsorship thing going with the Moon Bowl.
Thank you for joining us for our 18th episode of We Burn, We Rise. Today I'm joined by Hyperion and Rxbbn. We're happy to have you here today for a very special episode. In addition to typical updates on the Phoenix initiative as a whole, we're going to have Rxbbn tell us about the new staking platform, Diamondappz, before we open the chat for Q&A. Keep in mind that the Q&A will be recorded, so we appreciate the community's adherence to keeping the discussion profanity-free. Don't forget to sign the form pinned in main to get your attendance NFT for this meeting. I'd like to start the meeting by handing the baton over to Hyperion for some housekeeping.
Hello, everyone. As you may have noticed, there's a person, whichever side of the screen you're seeing, that has joined us today. Martin has been actively participating in the community. He's a very knowledgeable person with marketing, and also, as I mentioned before, he helped create this banner back here. Thank you for that. The most expensive Phoenix banner alive. But Martin's also coming on to help with editing and YouTube. So as you may have seen, we have been posting We Cook, We Burn videos. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Those will be weekly videos, weekly recipes. Martin is actually the person that is in those videos, those first couple ones, and up to episode 5, I think, as we go, right? Yeah. So if you ever have any questions about recipes, talk to him.
We'll find a way to add in the description the more detailed measurements of ingredients.
Well, so that was still being tossed up because we might actually introduce NFTs with the actual recipes and the different portions that needed. Yeah. So you might have like an episode 1 cookbook associated with the episode on YouTube. So look for that in the future. We're still mulling that over. That isn't 100% just yet.
And we really want the other community members to participate and send in your cooking videos. So the whole idea is, it's a multifaceted approach with this whole cooking thing. It's fun. We all talk about food all the time, anyways. But it's also kind of backdooring people into crypto. We're putting up the cooking videos, and increasingly we're going to be adding news and messages, what's going on in Phoenix, because it takes so little for somebody to stumble into crypto. So we're hoping that the cooking videos is a fun way to do that. And also it's to just show how down to earth this whole project is. We're not anonymous devs, with an avatar. We're actual people, just like everybody else. We cook, we laugh, we have fun. So it's kind of, to show how down to earth we are.
For sure. And thank you for officially joining us in all efforts on marketing as well. He has been definitely a big help. So this is going to be fun. Other than cooking, we're planning on possibly another. We'll see.
Yeah, we're tossing up some ideas.
Yeah, maybe Robbie will chime in with, he's not on, but maybe he'll be our workout trainer. Or workout videos. Probably won't, but.
We burn, we lift.
Yeah, aerobics thing with the headband. And.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's great. And then, we burn, we lift. I was saying we.
No, we lift, we burn. That's
we curl, we burn. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that can go with that. So, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, if you are a community member and you don't know how to edit videos, and give us the files. Once you're all finished, we will credit you, and then we will edit it for you. We can actually help. Just make sure it's horizontal. Don't record vertical. Horizontal works better on YouTube. So, anyone that is interested, either message me, Hyperion, or Martin, and we can help you with that. So, look forward to seeing some awesome recipes.
Awesome. All right, are we ready to hand it over for Rxbbn to tell us about Diamondappz?
Yeah, staking. Your mic is not on. Staking. Give us staking.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so yeah, as some of you guys know, we released Diamondappz on Saturday. Days are blending together, but it's out there now. You can now here. Let me share my screen. There we go. Alrighty, so this is just our little front page for Diamondappz. You can mint and stake Phoenix NFTs on here. So here we've got the new Fire Ducks collection. Here you can actually stake any of the NFTs that we have produced. The Phoenix drops, which are the airdrop bot ones, the Duck Hunt ones, which are the Duck Hunt NFTs. Pretty self-explanatory. We also have Fire Duck staking for the new NFTs, and then Diamond staking as well. So basically, the quick rundown on it is to get started with staking. What you would want to do first is click on View Your NFTs. Some of them will not appear because some of the NFTs that were hosted are not currently hosted anymore by whichever partner, but they are still stakeable. So in the case of 665, since I've already approved the transaction, I would just click on stake. So MetaMask will pop up after a second. Some of the pieces are a little buggy because I think I already have the one I was trying to stake already staked, and I don't have a ton on this account. There we go. So you would just click confirm, and then your NFT will be sent to the staking contract to earn Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. Or if you have a Diamond NFT, you would earn Diamonds. All these coins, or tokens rather, are tradable on FireSwap now. So you can trade from the Sapphire tokens all the way up to the Diamond ones. I can't remember the exact conversion between each one. But that was kind of the whole thing behind it, was we wanted people to be able to stake and then also trade up to diamonds. Just as stuff we're going to end up doing with the ecosystem starts building out, I'd imagine we'll end up using all of these tokens in a greater scheme. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but that was the original idea behind each of these collections having their own token, was to use them in different things. I had pitched this to Rob at one point where instead of earning cash in Duck Hunt, you would earn Ruby instead. And then you can use your Ruby to purchase the weapons or interact with anything else in there. So that's something we might work through. Not guaranteed, but it is there. And then obviously with Fire Ducks, and yep, there we go. So I've got my Fire Duck right there. One of the things that might confuse some people with it, just because this is still, it's functional, but it's still early as far as like the front end work goes and some of the interactions. If you have staked and unstaked an NFT or just staked an NFT, sometimes they'll duplicate for whatever reason, because the way it works is the viewer looks at your connected address for transactions matching the NFT contract. I just haven't had time to tell it, hey, you're only going to pull the first result. If they still own it, then you'll display it. So right now it's just checking the entire chain for it. But yeah, so far it's gone pretty well. I think we've minted about 120 ducks, which the funds from that mint, part of them will go into liquidity pools for each of the tokens, or at the very least just for Diamond. So this is going to see continual improvements as we keep going, just like everything else. But it's not the most important thing we have going on right now, in my opinion. It's definitely a fun toy to have. Oh, and it looks like Fluffy joined in. So yeah, that's kind of the quick overview on it. To claim your rewards, you can click on claim whichever token, and it'll give you all the tokens that you've earned from staking. Or if you choose to unstake any specific NFT or all of your NFTs, you'll also be issued the rewards at that point as well. So it's not a multiple step process just to get your rewards. If you want to unstake, it just sends it right to your wallet in the same transaction. So yeah, I think that covers kind of the basics of it. And then we'll probably have some more fun stuff coming in the near future. I know between Fluffy and I and Rob getting everything done with the fork, we will actually begin our first phase of the fork pretty soon. Oh, I can't type.
Yes, that was at 1,950,000, right?
Correct. So we are less than 25,000 blocks away from
It's almost 4 days.
Yeah.
Is that the Lancelot fork?
Say that again?
Is that the Lancelot fork?
Not quite. I don't know. I think I'm trying to remember what the first phase of the fork was. So my brain is just tired today. I think the first one was technically the Berlin fork, which is the 1.95 million. And then we go into the London upgrade, which is gas estimation, which is something that we just kind of copied over from Ethereum. And then as time goes on and we hit another 2 million blocks, we will be moving into our custom upgrades, as well as different happenings. So everything on-chain is progressing very nicely. With block 2 million, it is going to open the door for a lot more development, especially with certain contracts and certain functions within those contracts where, like, as an example, taxes built into tokens where 2% goes to like the liquidity pool, 2% goes to the developer, and then the rest goes into reflections, rewards, whatever you want. Those will be functioning properly now because there's a small issue with them pre-fork where the contract itself can't tell how much gas it's supposed to use. So once that takes effect, trading those will be better. And then I've also got to rework some things with the DEX as well to actually reflect gas estimation, because I kind of had to break a couple things in the process just to get the DEX functional. But since we'll have gas estimation here within the next week or two, it'll make things a lot easier all around for trading. And then I'll be able to hopefully introduce multi-hops, which basically, if you don't know what a multi-hop is when you're trading, let's say I want to swap Phoenix to Ruby in this example. And there's not a pair for Phoenix and Ruby. So what it'll do is it'll go down the line and find the best path to get from Phoenix to Ruby. So it could be from Phoenix to Diamond, Diamond to Emerald, Emerald to Ruby. And that's the path it'll take because it's able to estimate the gas for that entire set of transactions. Because it's not just one swap happening, it's technically 4 or 5 swaps that are all happening in succession in the same transaction. So that's right around the corner. I'm excited to see what comes out once we get that, or once that fork takes effect. Because I think we'll have a lot more fun stuff to play with all around. And it'll be easier for us to push people to using Phoenix. So, yeah, lots of stuff all around.
Speaking of upcoming fork, since that is also happening this week, succinctly, interestingly enough, we have our dev bounty ending in a couple days. The dev bounty was 2K. Now it's bolstered to 3K. Is that? I think we've verified that. So first place will get 2K. Second place will get 1K. Still looking for a great project. We have a couple that have released recently in community items, and we'll try to get them on next week once we've decided on the winners on the first 2. But if you have a couple days. If you're listening to this now, if you've listened and heard of Phoenix blockchain. You have a couple days to build and impress us to win a 2K Phoenix for first place, 1K Phoenix for second place. So we still have that. Couple days. Let's go. I'll try to get this video today, I promise. I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised how easy the Diamondappz thing was to use. It only took me like a minute or two to figure it out. Again,
Yeah.
that's like the
Yeah,
and
we tried to make it as easy as possible. I mean, it didn't need to be a complicated process. I'm sure there's ways I could go through and make it even easier, but
Yeah, hopefully after we finish updating our nodes, we have some time because there's a couple things that kind of irk me about it a little bit. Like the needing to refresh after every stake.
yeah, that shouldn't take me too long to fix. Basically, I just need to tell those components to refresh after interaction, so that way it actually recognizes that you approved it without refreshing.
And bear with us as other items. We are in beta, so if you have any questions, let us know. We have seen some errors come up, and that's mostly MetaMask, not us.
Yeah. We love MetaMask. Yay.
Soon ROI Pay. Soon ROI Pay Android. So it's already on iPhone. It's already perfect, but it has to be updated for Android still.
Yeah, and then we also have, if Matt wants to chime in, him and his buddy Bladepool, or Bladepool was working on something fun. He might be at work, though, so he might not pop in.
For those
he
that
did
don't
warn
know,
me that he had stuff going on.
For those that don't know, Matt is one of the minds behind the locker that was released. So he is definitely very reliable and very smart guy. So
Yeah. I know him and Bladepool have some other stuff in the works, but yeah, I'm happy the locker's out and it works perfect. Like, I have no complaints about it. So that means anyone who deploys a token can lock their liquidity now. So basically, no rugs. Which we don't like rugs.
Well,
I really like the spirit of the
Unless
thing
it's
too,
to
like you were talking about.
that's just to keep my feet warm.
Yeah, no, Matt's whole thought process behind it I really appreciate, because just making it accessible rather than trying to turn it into like a for-profit thing. Like, I like that mentality, because that's somebody that just genuinely wants the entire space to be safer without necessarily needing to fill their own pockets. Like, Pink Sale and all the other lockers, they'll take like a percentage or charge you X amount per lock. And I understand that, but at the end of the day, in my eyes, like, after the contract is out and the DApp is available, or even just the contract, like, the work's already done. It already exists. There's not a huge need to pay. And especially if that's a barrier for somebody who's deploying a token, or really anything for that matter, if the liquidity being locked or if it's an issue to lock liquidity because it costs money to do that, if that's a barrier, then that's something that's easily avoidable, which Matt thankfully did.
Having integrity is expensive anyway. To literally charge people for it is a bit of a conundrum.
yeah, and it really does help us, like you said, the community projects that might not have the funds to lock their liquidity, but they want to be the legit ones. They're building from nothing, and then help their community get value through that, and that will equally bring value to our blockchain. So very nice, good idea.
Yeah, it's really good. I know. I think on Uniswap, during the height of Ethereum, it was charging like $500 to even add to a liquidity pool. Which, again, like you said, if you're the whole crypto's for everybody, like if you only have a couple $100 to lock up at first, to then charge more than that to do it to begin with is kind of a hindrance.
Yeah. So Matt and Bladepool and CFG, they're doing some good stuff, and I'm excited to see what else they'll bring long term, because I think they got a lot to offer.
Obviously, eventually audits, right? we'll be looking
Yes.
to them for their specialty in audits. So
Correct. Yeah, they do offer audits for both Phoenix contracts as well as BSC, Ethereum, all of those. So if
I
you
think,
need an audit, reach out to the guys at CFG. They're Pink Sale verified or something along the lines of that. I can't remember the specific terminology, but yeah, a lot of stuff that goes through Pink Sale goes through them.
So speak back to the topic of fork. I believe I have crossed the 51% threshold on updating the nodes. So I believe we're on the new fork. That being said, I need more sleep.
When did you finally go to bed?
9 a.m. ish.
Jeez. Yeah, you got a lot done.
Yeah, it's a lot of check marks on there.
that's exciting. 51%. The good 51%. This time it's a good 51%. It's
Yep.
not an attack. We're not attacking ourselves.
We're in consensus, mostly.
Yeah, so we're roughly, less than 4 days away from the flip, and then the fork will happen thereafter at 50,000 more. So give or take 9 days, 10 days or so until the
Yep.
actual fork.
Yep. Yeah, I can't remember what all the Berlin upgrade introduces. It's a lot of prerequisite stuff for London overall. So, I mean, it should bring some general optimizations. I used to know exactly what all it brought, but it's one of those tired days for me today.
I can always look up the IP that was implemented with it.
Yeah,
per Ethereum.
it introduces like 3 separate small upgrades. It's not quite as heavy as London. And a lot of it's mainly just gas related things. So just catching stuff up for. Yes, Matt, it is your update.
Matt has been itching to build.
Yeah, I know he has. Like, I talk with him pretty much daily, and he thought he was going crazy because a contract that he wanted to release was not working at all. And I'm like, okay, go check the decks, tell me what it's saying. And it was a gas estimation error. And I was like, yep, we're waiting on that upgrade to go through. As soon as it goes through, it's not going to have that problem. So, like, the reward tokens, they just don't work the way they should. You can deploy them, and in some cases, you can add liquidity, but the trading just doesn't happen right with them because, again, the contract can't estimate the gas it needs to use for each interaction. So, I'm excited for what gets released from people all around once that goes through.
And also, the block rewards go down to 1. That is very important, everybody. If you haven't been paying attention, at 2 million, it goes down to 1. At 4 million, a half of a Phoenix.
And then going one step further, at 6 million, it's 0.25 Phoenix per block.
And you can kind of estimate how long it'll take because we launched in November and it's about to hit 2 million right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, wee, look at me.
Didn't they just release a new season?
It's coming out, I think Rick and Morty is coming out September 3rd or something like that. The first week of September.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Love it.
I haven't watched Rick and Morty since like my freshman year of college, roughly.
That was what, 2 years ago?
No, that was, oh God,
He's not that young.
4 years ago?
Ugh.
I graduated, or no, 3 years ago. I graduated college at 20.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I hated school. I graduated high school a year and a half early, started college at 18, because I took like a 6 or 8 month gap, and then enrolled, and it was a 2.5 year bachelor's degree. So yeah, I was very busy at that time. I tend to forget things that existed during that time span because it's like I was working 30 to 40 hours a week on top of doing full-time school. And yeah, when you do that, you just don't have time for anything. And it's just like, oh yeah, this period of time, this is all I did. Nothing else happened.
Good for you, man. I sat through college and I was like, what do I graduate in? I talked to my counselor and he's like, oh, this is what you have the most credits in. Great.
Yeah, I got my degree in music though, which is the issue.
So you're saying that there's going to be a music side eventually, you and collabing with PhoenixPhire for YouTube. Eventually, we're going to have.
I was an engineer, not a producer.
We want to hear you sing.
He doesn't have to sing. He could just create the blockchain music. I've seen some weird stuff come out with that. I think that'd be fun.
No, what I used to do was mainly pre and post production engineering and then audio design. So like basically the whole process was I'd record an artist, I'd mix and master their songs, send it back to them, do revisions and all of that, and then do a final mix and master for the entire album or EP. And then on the side, I was doing audio for some small games. So like there's like some Unity demos and stuff that some of the people at my school were actually doing as a full thing. And I had 2 projects where I designed all of the audio, the music, the sound effects, like interactions, everything. Yeah, that's what I fell in love with. But my computer hated it because I had like 200 gigs worth of samples of different sounds. Because I wasn't just going to go rent a Foley studio to get a project done. So I just downloaded like, here's this file structure. We're just going to take all of that because I'm sure I can use something from it. Like car engines in most film are generally based off of lion and panther roars.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. They're just stretched and edited perfectly and layered with a couple other components. Like you can use some distorted breaking glass sounds. And if you distort them right and change the certain frequency ranges to match like the low rumble of a car, and then you slow it down like 30 times, actually creates a really nice sound. I think I have like 5 gigs worth of like finished sound effects that I did for 1 or 2 of the projects I worked on. Very interesting stuff.
When NFT?
I'm done with NFTs for now.
Doesn't want to see an NFT for a while.
Appreciate getting them. Building with them is kind of a pain. Alrighty. But yeah, I think that kind of covers everything for me this week.
Excellent. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add or questions or anything like that?
So I'm going to just add one more thing because people have been asking. So GPHX is still on our radar. We are still going to work on that. It's just this takes precedent. We need to do precedence. We need to do the node upgrade and the fork. That all has to be in line because 2 million is right around the corner. It came a lot quicker. We need this consensus reached. We need all this done before we move into GPHX.
That and the governance is heavily reliant upon safe math and gas estimation. So having a London fork in place only makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of been the story the past, I want to say like 2 months was like, oh, we need to do this. We need gas estimation for this. Okay. Can we do that? Nope, we need gas for that. But what about this idea? No. Maybe this one? No. So there's things that we are still working on. It's just they're not going to be viable until post-block 2 million. Anything after that, what we're working on becomes viable. It's just right now. Let's say I was to deploy a governance token. It could mostly work, but some of the functions just aren't going to work, and it's going to look and feel like a flawed contract, even if it is working perfectly on every other network. So we're getting there. We're almost there.
Well, plus it also makes us question our work during development because something doesn't work, and then we end up breaking a bunch of other stuff that unnecessarily doesn't need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like
the decks.
RX with, perfect example. So, like the decks. So we end up having to break stuff, and it creates a lot more work, and we're not getting paid for work. So ideally, to be wait until we have gas estimation, and then that way it makes our work so much easier as well. And we're not having to break stuff in order to make something kind of work. This way, it'll just fully work.
Yeah, and I mean, on the note of the decks, I am going to be adding a couple updates to it that'll go live after block 2 million, stuff like gas estimation. I'll probably end up adding a couple tokens to the trusted token list, like Diamond as an example. I'm not against listing a whole bunch of tokens.
Speaking of that, I think Carl is working on adding Diamond to Zezix.
Cool.
So definitely need to get that thing up. Logo. Sorry.
And also,
Fire will do a custom one rather than it just being a diamond.
I mean,
But I like just a diamond.
I could put a diamond in circle.
You need me to.
I think Matt is saying, Matt, hi.
I asked Fluffy how tired he was.
Oh yeah, I've been burning the oil all day and night. I would tell Rob, hey, I'm going to sleep, and then I would come back like an hour later and just keep grinding. So,
Also, it was an all-nighter.
All day, all night. Yeah. But I got a good 5-hour nap in.
Yeah, get a nap in because that's not healthy.
I got Red Bull.
What are you talking about? Fluffy is
Still not healthy.
Speaking of, let me get my little sponsorship thing going with Red Bull. It gave me wings.
I don't need water when I'm drinking Red Bull.
Hey, it's based on water.
Water's for bathing.
One day we're gonna get a sponsorship. Just wait.
Well,
Please.
we're working on the Red Bull. I don't know if Jack saw, but we're working on Red Bull, but we're also working on Diablo Immortal Blizzard sponsorship too. Like one day.
Yes, I need more free legendary crests.
Yes, please, sir. Please send. No.
I'll
My
play some Diablo.
My Paragon 150's killing it
I'll
right
play
now.
some
Don't go to
D3.
Sloppy Server. Go to mine.
I
I'm
play
not
on
playing
mobile,
Immortal.
so I don't
No.
know.
Who else would refill
It's,
for it? Nabisco?
Yeah, you know what? I don't have enough crackers at home. It's just me.
Cheez-Its. Excellent.
Food,
Good value.
drink, and gaming. You need all of the things to play games. You need food and drink. So we covered everything, right? And we have our blockchain that will run the games.
Well, it could be a value system.
Speaking of games, pretty soon here, I think we're going to start looking at getting started on the Diamondappz. I think that's the working name. I don't remember. I don't know if I'm supposed to share that or not, but I did. So, but yeah, that is something we are going to be working on soon. Rob, I know, had plotted out rough locations for all the different environments and stuff like that. And once I get caught up, I will be probably trying to build that out in Unreal 5 or Unity. I don't know quite yet. Probably Unity if we're going to do web-based, or Unreal if it's going to be more of a standalone application. So that's something that's still on our radar. So basically taking Duck Hunt to the next level.
Oh man,
For the sake of
that sounds
maintaining
awesome.
like not just like an order of stuff here, would that be like after fire C?
Yes. Yeah, that one's going to be an eventual thing. Not to say it's not like on a burner. I mean, it's definitely on a burner. I wouldn't say the back burner. Maybe the back burner. More
It's
just
defrosting
like
on
we're
the counter.
getting concepts. Huh?
I said it's defrosting on the counter.
Yep. We pulled the idea out of the freezer. And we're like, all right, you need like 6 months to defrost, and we'll be good to go.
Without
Actually,
salmonella, though, right?
I
Yes,
think
no
Rob's.
salmonella.
I
These
think
ducks
Rob.
are fresh.
I think Rob already started coding on it, and before we started throwing more ducks at him, I think he kind of had something already almost pre-finished. So, but maybe we'll have better ideas and update that as well.
Yeah, once you
I
get
don't
past
know.
51% to 100% nodes, then
Oh, then I can worry
probably see
about the
more
nest.
info from Rob.
Well, no, likely not, because he's still pushing paperwork. He's doing the fun stuff, setting up all of the companies.
Do not envy that.
No, I do not either. That's why I'd rather do nodes.
Someone's got to do it.
Oh, and anyone that has a node, if you have not sent us your server info, that is something we are going to need because of Vermont having a massive outage issue with a lot of their servers. Data that we had that was encrypted that contained your information on your node. So your IP address, your password, all of that stuff for the server. We are potentially missing some. If you notice that your nodes are not producing, you will need to reach out to us because since we don't have our most up-to-date database, thanks to that outage, some may get missed. So if you notice you're not getting anything over the next week or two, reach out to us, whether it's in the node chat or DM, pretty much any of us, so we can at least get the process started to get them resolved. That's just more of a general statement because I have a feeling that we are missing a handful. I think we've got like 90% of them, but in case somebody's is not working, then that'd be great for us to know. Or if you decide to cancel your server, that's totally fine. We also appreciate a heads up about that. So when we go through and do stuff like this, we don't try and sign into a server that isn't registered anymore. So basically, help us do our jobs. We take care of everything. We take care of everything on the back end, but we can't.
Yes, make sure you send it to RX because Fluffy does not want to look at another node again ever.
Oh, so, but yeah, again, reach out to us if your node's not working. As we go through this upgrade, I don't know what the frequency of rewards is going to look like. We have lost, I want to say, about 60 nodes, both between Vermont and just people taking their nodes down for whatever reason. But with the Vermont issue specifically, if you have a server with them, you do need to reach out to Vermont themselves. It's not something that we are in control of, not something that we can fix. If you reach out to Vermont, more than likely they'll offer a replacement server, as well as refund or credit to your account for the outage time. So again, if you have a Vermont server, reach out to them, send a ticket in. They'll get you taken care of over the span of like 2 or 3 days, depending.
Well, no, because they're still not doing it right. Like mine, they replaced with server, but it's got Cent operating system on it instead of Ubuntu. So, yeah, I would just start looking at another third party. Who else was it? Joe something?
Joe's data center.
Joe's database.
Yeah, Joe's
There's
database.
Hasnok, no 6 So you start.
OVH.
Yes.
And hopefully here pretty soon we'll have our own data center.
Should
So
you
then
with a
people
shoe? Are you sure
Huh?
to be?
Oh, I'll shut up then. Yeah,
I don't.
you're right.
Well, once we get caught
What?
up, I mean, he already spilled some beans. I might as well say something. I might be going and touring a data center at some point in the near future. See about potential co-location in there for key infrastructure stuff to start. I mean, I don't feel like that's an actual leak saying, hey, instead of renting our servers from this place halfway across the world, we're going to find somewhere local to host things. But that could be something that we expand on. I don't know if the one near my apartment, like the one I sent Rob, was like 10 minutes from my apartment. I don't know if that's something that we're going to expand on necessarily, but in the case of our issues with Vermok, that having our own stuff that I could physically go check out would have saved us a good bit of time.
And now you know. You heard it here first. There's lots of stuff in the back, always being worked on.
Too much stuff.
Too much.
All
stuff.
right.
Too much.
Are we ready for me to bring it home?
I think so.
One NFT.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you all again next week for episode 19 of the weekly broadcast, wishing every member of the family a fantastic week, and we'll see you in chat.